Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Mandy, and I'm so glad that you are here. So today I wanted to talk specifically about how I kind of have like a monthly or seasonal meal planning system that's just helpful for me in, I don't know, I guess I should say just thinking of meals, and I keep it in my planner in my home section here that it just really helps me to not feel super pressured or the stress of it. I don't know about you, but first I kind of want to go into how like my personality type with meal planning. So I love providing meals for my family. I love sitting down and having meals as a family. However, with three little kids, I have one going on 2 in March, one who just turned 4, and then the other one is going on 8 in March. And they all, of course, have different, personality like types with food and eating, and it is honestly always changing. My 8-year-old used to be the hardest. Now he's a lot easier, and I feel like the hard work that we have done, is helping with him. However, it is still a time during my day that can get pretty stressful because, again, I want to just cook a meal that we all can eat. But with the age groups that I'm working with, I definitely have to think of other ideas or bring some things in. And this video isn't necessarily going to go over that. But if you are in the same boat or definitely kind of feel me in that area and would like some things that I do that might be helpful, I know that's not like a planner type video, but let me know because honestly, I needed the help and I still need the help. The ideas, it's like they don't get old. So let's go into though my actual system that does help me to take a little bit of stress off the thinking and the planning, and something that I'm doing right now that makes me feel a whole lot better about with our meal planning system. So what I quickly realized between summer and fall is that we eat completely different per the season. We feel like different things. I don't feel like cooking chili as much or soups, and those can be fairly easy and something that we can eat pretty often, even though at the beginning of fall or pretty much all of fall, I could have chili almost weekly because with chili, I could do all these different things with it. It wasn't just a bowl of chili. It could be on nachos. It could be in burritos, stuff like that. So, but we don't really feel like that during the summer. So I struggled over summer, and when fall came, I started noticing that I was doing a lot better with cooking. So then I realized, you know what? I have a lot more ideas going on in my head right now that I could really help my system out if I just wrote them all down. So the first thing that I would tell you to do is find a calendar of some sort. Mine is written on, let's see, I'll show you a blank one. So I'm already pretty much getting ready for spring and summer here. I found, actually I created this. It's just a blank calendar with lines on the bottom so I can write specific things down. And then I even put on the back, let me make sure you could see that. I even put on the back top 3, some note paper or lines for notes. That way we can kind of put our top 3, something that my idea of that was something that the whole family really, really enjoyed the most. Because another reason I have a planner is for memory making and logging and stuff like that. So the first thing I would say to do is have a blank calendar in hand. Now, this isn't going to be something that and it can be, but it isn't for me, something that I plan on making every month and sticking to exactly what I put. But a blank calendar is nice because then you can see like an overall of the whole month. Or like I wrote here, I might use this over and over again throughout the spring and the summer. The second thing that I would say to do is write down a list of recipes that you guys like and that you don't mind cooking. So for example, when I was talking about summer meal plans, I wrote down, I didn't even think I was going to fill up this paper. And as I was thinking and getting my brain going and dumping it all out here, I wrote quite a bit of things down for ideas that I either really like making, or I know that we all will eat and somewhat enjoy, or that looked pretty good with some recipes that I have either saved or have on a website that I like to go to often. And I ran out of room. So my second tip for you would be to write down a list of things that kind of sound like they fit that time or season that you wouldn't mind making, and that you know that at least the majority of the family would really like. The next thing I want you to do is just take into account your cooking and your shopping style or personality, okay? So for example, I'm pretty tired by late afternoon and I really want to relax. So easy meals that we can have access to, even maybe having leftovers, are really nice. I also like a new recipe every now and then. So picking out a day of the week that I can, know that I will be making something kind of new. That way I can prep myself throughout the day, but it's not every night. I really don't like thawing meat also. In case that came out wrong, I said I really don't like thawing meat. I get meats like the same type of meats each week. So I might get one special one for a new recipe if we have the time that week to make a new recipe, or if a new recipe calls for a different meat. Other than that, we do the same like 2 styles of meats each week. And we also do 2 smaller pickups each week. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. However, let me tell you something right now. Those smaller pickups have helped relieve so much stress for me. I know that I am getting the same meat each week. Basically, one meal is planned by that. I'll use ground turkey, and that makes for 2 meals at the beginning of the week, or one at the beginning and one towards the end. And then the 2 smaller pickups, having these 2 smaller pickups help me to have less stress over making sure I get all we need for a whole week. If I know that we will do a pickup in a few days, I'm honestly really less stressed to not forget something. If I don't do a pickup, or don't know that I'm going to have another pickup before another week or so, I will procrastinate that pickup or shopping trip, whatever it is. And then I will stress about it because I don't want to forget something. So having the 2 different smaller pickups or grocery. Now, I'm strongly a grocery pickup person, because no, I cannot be in the grocery store 2 times a week. I don't even want to be in there 1 time a week. So it really allows us to get more fresh fruit, fresh meat, and I don't have to worry about like forgetting anything on the list. I can just, honestly, I've added it the same day and just thought, oh, that's fine, because we're going to do another pickup in a couple days. So now that we've kind of gone over my personality type, that you'll want to have a blank calendar, a list of meals that you like to cook or think would be really good ones for your family, I wanted to say that I have not filled in my spring and summer one as of yet. Like I said, there was just a lot more options here than I thought there would be. But let me go over and show you guys my fall and winter calendar that I have here. Now, this has been so helpful for me, being that I just have ideas, okay? Now, what I did was I took into account that I said I was going to have a ground turkey and chicken. So I'm always going to have ground turkey and chicken on hand. And if there is a meal that I want to kind of throw in a newer meat, I know we're trying to eat a lot more fish and salmon. We're trying to have lighter meats as well, sometimes pork. So I'm taking that into consideration. I actually wrote meats to order down here. I like to write things that aren't in a normal basis, I guess, down here. And then nice kid-friendly reminders, so that way when I am beat by the end of the day and my brain can't think of anything else except the one thing that we are scheduled to make that night, I can think of a couple other ideas in case I need to put a little bit of something else on my kids' plates. And then veggie sides are always a big deal to me too. Like I just forget sometimes how I can make some veggie sides. So I have a little list going here, which obviously I need to add to it because again, I probably wasn't able to think of too many there. But so from that list, now I don't have a list with all of these on it, but from that list, you could go through the list. I actually took these meals from I have this like meal rotation ideas here and some meal ideas here that I took some of those meals on this calendar from this list. So as you can see, your lists may be pretty long, they may be short. Here I kind of separated them into different types of categories. So then what I did was I just kind of wrote down some things that I think are good fall or winter meals for our family, things that sounded good to me, things that I know that I can make that maybe both my kids and I and my husband will like. And I just kind of started writing them down, taking again into consideration that we have a ground turkey and a chicken, and which one I wouldn't mind making kind of earlier in the week if I felt like cooking a meat later in the week. So for example, you'll kind of be able to tell here, there's a theme with like ground turkey. So we use ground turkey in spaghetti and tacos. And then I have chicken for enchiladas. And then we have, usually I like to do like a frozen meat. So that way, and I don't mean frozen like where I have to thaw it out. So meatballs we usually have in the freezer. Hamburgers we usually have ready in the freezer. So quick meals from the freezer that we can make for Friday, Saturday, or the weekend. Okay, so next you can kind of see that we have chili and cornbread and burrito bowls, a chicken here. So you can kind of see the theme that I went with. Another fun thing to do is you can schedule things by themes that your family likes. So for example, Taco Tuesday is kind of an easy no-brainer. So if it's Tuesday, you know that you're going to have tacos. And if you are shopping like me, where you're just getting one meat for a couple days, or, one or two meats for a couple days, and then you're going to do another pickup for the rest of the week, you can just have meals planned out for that one type of meat that you have that you aren't freezing, and you don't have to worry if you didn't forget to take the meat out of the freezer in the morning or the night before. So the next thing that I would suggest is, as I mentioned before, making a list of kid friendlies. If you have kids that may not necessarily like, for example, enchiladas, you can make something that isn't too big of a deal to add to that type of meal, to where you're not having to make two completely separate types of meals. So if you're making enchiladas already, maybe have tostada shells on hand, so that way some of the same fixings can be with the tostadas and so forth. So definitely making a list and having an ongoing list of kid friendlies is very helpful, as well as veggie sides and other meats to order. So anything that is different or something that doesn't necessarily pertain to up here, having something else for your thoughts is very helpful. So then when I actually go to sit down and meal plan, I'm not going to say that I follow this to a T at all. Many times I am actually not following this, but it actually gives me ideas, and I at least have ideas for the way that I order my meats from the store, and what types of meals that I can make with those meats. But overall, this is just basically your list. It is nothing that you have to set in stone, but if you are a big planner, as doing as what you've said you've done, or if you are trying to watch your calories and your macros and stuff like that and plan out your meals accordingly, this idea is very helpful for that as well. So it's helpful if you just want ideas, and it's also helpful if you are trying to eat what you say you are going to eat, or eat as you plan, you know, for health wise anyways. So you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video and this little way of meal planning for myself. This allows me options and honestly no thinking ideas when I need to just plan and go. I know a lot of people can plan, or they say to plan by looking in your freezer and your fridge and all that of what you have. Luckily, I have a pretty good idea of that. I definitely could do it more, but I'm just not always able to do that. When I sit down and meal plan, I'm not always in front of my fridge or freezer or pantry. And honestly, when I am, the kids like know that I'm getting into that area and they come in, and it just makes it really hard. So this is definitely helpful. Another thing that I find helpful is having a list of some sort of common grocery items, so that way you know that these are items that pretty much get used every week and you know that you're going to need them. Or if they aren't used every week, you kind of have an idea, and you can say, oh wait, we are actually out of waffles, and I wouldn't have thought about getting waffles had I not had my list here. So I definitely love having this little meal planning section in my home section of my planner. Let me know if you enjoy this video by giving me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if this meal planning system seems to be somewhat helpful for you, or what your meal planning system is that's helpful for you, because I know we all don't have one that fits all, and I love hearing about other systems out there as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you haven't already, I hope that you will subscribe and join me for more, and I will see you for the next video. Bye guys.